found the gap there beautifully between the boundary rider and long off. It's another 4. 10 runs of last 2 balls. A bit of a shrug of the shoulders by the bowler to his captain. 174. That brings Mohammad Kashif to 31 of 16 balls. 3 sixes. A bit of a conference between the captain and the keeper. They have to try and damage controls. Next 2 overs, 170 on this ground, although chaseable, is still a bit of an ask. Iqbal Hussain Chowdhury in here for the 19th. That'll be a wide ball. Pressure telling here on the Qatari bowlers, trying to keep Mohammad Kashif quiet. Sitting on 31 of 16 balls with 1 4 and 3 sixes. Has found his range. And he goes again. You can't keep him quiet. It's another 6. And brings him to 37 of 17 balls. Well fielded. Seeing that Kashif has found his range. It'll take a lot for a bowler to get behind those. And he's done well there, Chowdhury. Head down as he goes back to his mark. And this might go again over the long off. It's another 6. Takes him to incredible 5 sixes in his innings. There's no holding back here for Kashif. And hits that down, just finds the fielder, and he's on his way. Well played there, Mohammad Kashif. 43 of 19 balls, 5 sixes, and 1 4. And that's taken the Kuwait to 184 for 5. And still with another over to bowl after this. You would think the Kuwait would try and look for the 200 mark. These two Gulf nations must have had long history of playing against each other. In fact, I think Kuwait was actually in Qatar before this for pre-warm-up games. So they wouldn't be strangers to each other. Last ball for Chowdhury. Just down to long on, trying to go for the second, but well fielded there. And takes them to 185 for 5. Last over now, and it looks like Kuwait must have a target in mind of trying to get 200 on the board, which would be a really good score at this ground, considering that the straight boundary is quite short and the wicket's looking to be a bit of a belter today. Good to have the sun back out after 2 days of overcast conditions. So it'll be Noman Sawar to finish off the bowling for Qatar. It's bowled 2 overs for 25 runs. It's not been very economical. Chowdhury finished off with 4 for 42. 4 overs and 42 runs. 2 wickets to his name though. So what can Sawar do here to try and keep the score under 200? New batsman is Shiraz Khan. And that's just really loose delivery, down leg. Couldn't have made it more easy for Shiraz. Just flicked it off his pads, and that's 4 runs down to fine leg, with the fine leg fielder in the boundary, within the 30-yard circle. So not the best ball to start off with. His first ball. 5 more to go. 189 for 5. And signs look ominous for Kuwait getting 200. Hit that down to deep mid wicket. Fielded without much concern. Just a 1 run. Gets Usman Waheed on strike, who's now 22 of 16 balls. So what can the little stocky left-hander do here to try to hit that magical 200? 10 more runs needed to hit 200. 4 balls to go. That's a bit of reshuffling of the field here. And Sawar in. And he's launched that. That is a huge 6, and that's gone off to between long on and deep mid wicket for another 6. Takes them to 196 for 5. And Waheed to 28 of just 17 balls. Strike rate of 164. Pair of Kashif and Usman Waheed done well before Kashif was dismissed to get Kuwait to this point. Full toss, gets past, looks like it got past, under the waist, keeper patting it. You get a single though as a bye. The Qataris do look like flat, look really flat in the field. Crestfallen, to be honest. Matter of just wanting to finish off this bowling and see what they can do with the bat. But this will be a big task. He's bowled him. Big swing across the line by Shiraz Khan. Nowhere close. So Shiraz Khan departs for 6 of just 3 balls. Doesn't really matter at this point. Anybody that comes in is just going to throw their bat. 3 runs needed for that 200. 197 for 6. Naman Sawar with his last ball. Will they get to the 200? So it just piques the interest here for the last ball. I think many people wondering if Qatar can get 200. All's needed is 4. 3 runs required to get 200. I'm sure Aslam is thinking about that. He's not going to die wondering. Probably have a swing of the bat. Here we go. And he's hit that into deep mid wicket, and great catch taken down there by deep mid wicket. And they don't get to 200. But having said that, at 197 for 7, that is a very, very big score, and probably a very defendable score for Kuwait. And Qatar have a big task in their hands to try and chase the sun. I'll join you after the innings break, and good morning to all of you. Welcome back to Qatar versus Kuwait at the ICC Men's T20 World Cup Asia Region Final, hosted in Singapore. Ilyas Ahmed opening the bowling, the left armour. First ball was a wide down leg, and second ball a dot ball. So Qatar have a big task in their hands here, trying to chase down the score. Very formidable total to defend. And that's a really good shot there by Faisal Javed. Just picked that off slightly down leg. Shot the length, plays a really good pull shot into an unprotected area. Fine leg or not, that was always going to go for 4. So not the best of balls bowled there by Ilyas Ahmed. Left armour probably needs to looking at that 5th stump line coming in. Then again, with scoreboard pressure for Kuwait, they can probably have a lapse or 2. Deep breath by Ilyas as he makes his way in for his 4th ball. And that's another great shot. Probably bowling a bit too straight, and Faisal just working that off his hips. Really, really good shot, strong wrists. And that's another 4. And that takes Qatar to 9 for no loss of just 3 balls. Looking at the offside dominant field, Ilyas probably has to think about getting that just a bit wider and possibly. That actually was a 6. So signal's been changed to 6, and that's now 11 off for no loss. What can Ilyas do here now? Once again, bit too straight, and he's worked that off his legs. So you feel that Ilyas probably has to understand that that's a really strong area of Faisal's. There's 3 balls down leg or straight that he's dispatched, and the 2 balls earlier, although one was wide and the other just missing the outside edge, was outside off in the 5th stump line we were talking about. So 15 for no loss, Qatar. Ilyas in again. And that is the line that he has to look for, forcing Faisal to probably reach out to try and play that through a very protected area in covers within 30-yard circle. Can't bring those wrists into play or the bottom hand. So very important how Kuwait use the new ball. And so far Ilyas conceding 15 runs in his first over. Probably only has bowled 2 balls where you like them to be. It's a really good shot. Bit too full this time. And Faisal just not holding back again, and brings them to 19. Faisal 18 of just 6 balls with 3 fours and a 6. Good start to the chase by Qatar. 19 of the first over. You think that the next 5 overs in the power play is going to give an indication where Qatar will stand, how much scoreboard pressure they can take off. Don't think the captain's too pleased with how his first over has gone from Ilyas Ahmed. Just 19 runs off that over. Kuwait can't be too complacent at this point, And that first over has not started things off very well. Anything can happen. T20 game. Game is changed off an over, off a ball. So let's see how Kuwait respond to this. Spin coming on, and that's wide down the leg. It's just lack of discipline here. I mean, you've got to understand that, yeah, as much as there's 198 on the board, you've got to keep your first 6 overs and look for damage control, because that's when any team's going to try and take advantage. And bowling a first ball down leg wide and 4 runs, not the best start. An appeal there for LBW. Umpire Buddy not interested. Better bowled, taking the pace off, just making things a bit harder there for Kamran Khan, who's only facing second ball now, to try and get any pace to work off and try and launch it over the 30-yard. And there you go, a bit across the line, but no man's land. That's it, and that's 4 runs. Don't think he hit that too well. Looked like he was going for the long on region, and that actually ended up going to covers. They all count. And it's the captain himself who's come on to bowl, so 3 runs, 9 runs. Well fielded there. Not the best of balls. Very, very lucky that it found a square leg. And once again, probably not playing it the best, but he still finds the boundary. Doesn't look like he's hitting it where he intends to, but successful so far. So that's 13 runs of the over. And the skipper here has to try and curtail his runs, because 32 of 2 overs, that's a great start to Qatar's chase, and puts them in with a chance. Probably going down leg, hits him in the full, but I think umpire Buddy reckons it goes going down leg, and that is the over. And Qatar, great start, 32 of 2 overs for no loss. One would think that if Qatar can probably hit the 60-run mark in the first 6, that they will put themselves in a very good position to chase the score down. They have batsmen who can play. Qatar very well renowned for big hitting. They showed against Nepal, beg your pardon. Although there was not much on the scoreboard then, but when it's time to take on the bowlers, they are very capable. And the man that's asking for his cap at the moment, Faisal, probably one of the best doing that for Qatar. So looks like Ilyas is done after his first over going for 19 runs. Brings on Jandu Hamoud, slow left arm bowler, which probably is not a bad option at this point. Just try and take the pace off, and that's probably the safest place you could hit a ball that's straight back over the bowler's head. That's 6 runs. Don't think that was a bad delivery, but just a really, really good shot there by Faisal. Faisal now sitting on 24 for just 7 balls, 3 fours, 2 sixes. Strike rate 342. And wow, that is just an amazing catch. Faisal will be disgusted because of all the shots. He gets a full toss, rank full toss, hits it straight. Well, not really straight, but took a really good catch to get rid of him. Probably didn't hit as hard as he wanted to, but a fantastic catch there. I mean, diving to his right, midair, parallel to ground. And it's half chances like this that can turn a game. And one would think if Faisal had stuck around for the next 4 or 5 overs, that Qatar, they could have really taken off a big chunk of the score as they head into the non-power play overs. But having said that, Jandu Hamoud's done the job for his skipper, and that was just a fantastic catch there by Shiraz Khan. And Kuwait now can probably really happy to see the back of Faisal. And next batsman in is Awais Malik. You know? Alright. Beg your pardon, that's the captain, Imam ul Haq. Not to be confused by the current Pakistani player, although both of them are countrymen. Former first-class player from Pakistan himself, Imam ul Haq. Batted really well against Nepal in the chase. Very, very mature innings. While the rest were trying to hit out, he just used his strengths and once again playing that shot so well off his feet, which he did against Nepal as well. Just a very, very cool, calm, collected, very experienced campaigner, Imam ul Haq. And just gives the Qatari batting lineup a bit of composure, and probably will play anchor at this point as the rest try and hit out. He'll just try and get the singles and dispatch the balls that he feels can put away. It's well bowled, probably pitching on leg stump, leg by, and that goes for 4. Really, really quick outfield. Sunny day today. 2 overcast days prior. The field looks greener after the rain, which but it's still not slowed down this outfield. 43 for 1. 2 balls to go from Jandu Hamoud. Well bowled, but that's going to be a wide. For a moment there, just thought maybe it would have flicked his pads. Well kept by the keeper. Still got 2 deliveries to go. And a full toss. And is this full toss going to get him another wicket? And it has. You've got to like 2 really good catches, but 2 full tosses for those wickets. And it's interesting how Jandu Hamoud, who's bowled some pretty decent deliveries, has been dispatched, but when he's bowled 2 full tosses, he's taken 2 Qatari wickets. And another good catch there. Down a deep mid wicket, he had to run back over his head and held that really, really well. So that's put Qatar on the back foot again at 44 for 2 in this chase, while the run rate's pretty decent of just 3 overs. The 2 early wickets has probably just put a bit of a dampen on the chase. Still, they've got a long batting lineup, guys who really swing from the hips, so anything is possible. So that brings Mohammad Tanveer into bat next for Qatar. He'll join Imam ul Haq in the middle. Qatar 44 for 2 of 2.5 overs, beg your pardon. And last ball, 2 full tosses. Taken wickets for Kuwait. And there's another full toss. This time it's cleared over. Short fine leg goes for 4, but you would think that if the fine leg was back on the boundary, that would have been another wicket off full toss. It's looking for a no ball sign, no ball signaled, and that's the over. 48 for 2, off 3, beg your pardon. And is now left to Inamul Haq, you would think, to try and settle down this Qatari innings, and they've had a good start in scoring 48 of 3 overs. Still 3 overs of power play to go. You would think they will like to hit the 60-65 mark, just to take a good chunk of the runs in the power play when the batting conditions suit the batter, with the only allowing 2 fielders out the 30-yard and taking advantage of the ball when it's still new and hard. So another change of bowling for Kuwait. We've already used 3 bowlers in just the first 3 overs. Well played. A bit too straight, but safe shot. Down to fine leg just for the single. And that's Mohammad Ahsan has come on for his first over of this match. 1 off the first ball. Inamul Haq on strike. And you'd feel that, knowing the style of play that Inamul Haq possesses, he'll probably try and work this into gap. And if this was anywhere in his range, he's probably going to look to dispatch it. That's ball rising very sharply. I wouldn't say sharply, but probably just a bit of a slower bounce. Very early in his pull shot, just hits it to deep mid wicket for a single, and brings Tanvir back on strike. And that brings up the 50 for Qatar for loss of 2. Bowled, and good start to Ahsan's over. Worked away to deep mid wicket just for another single. And Kuwait will probably need this just to calm the nerves a bit, because as much as there's 198 on the board, Qatar have done a sterling job of bringing the score to 50 of just 3 overs, although losing 2 wickets probably not in their favour. Well bowled again, just really good areas, simple, a good length, all 3 balls apart from the shorter one, but 3 balls prior. Very well bowled. Just has enough of pace, and maybe just not enough pace in trying to work the ball away. That is a fantastic shot. Short ball outside off stump, dispatched by the ever reliable Inamul Haq. Square cut over the top, 4 runs. And sometimes it's just about keeping things simple, not trying to overdo things. And Ahsan was bowling well at that point, just by keeping it on a good length, outside off, and comes back, and that's an inside edge, and that's probably going to make its way for 4. No, it hasn't. It's been fielded there by Ilyas, and that's the over. 56 for 2. Run rate slowed down a bit, but probably a much better over, bowled by Mohammad Ahsan as compared to the rest of his fellow bowlers. So Jandu Hamoud back into bowl, and it's not, sorry, beg your pardon. Ilyas has come back on after his first over conceding 19. Probably captain feeling that he needs to use his left arm bowler earlier rather than later, so bowling to Inamul Haq. Another inside edge, and that's gone for 4. Fortune favours the brave, and that's Kashif, captain for Kuwait, must be pulling his hair out, because even the good deliveries now are going for boundaries, and they've already hit the 60 mark. And as I mentioned before, taking a big chunk of this imposing target in the power play can only be a good thing for Qatar, and they've done a really good job in having 60 on the board already. That's a great shot. Shows the quality of Inamul Haq there. Just a lofted cover drive over the 30 yard, and off a ball that you wouldn't say was pitched in a very bad area. So Ilyas has been quite unfortunate in that he's been now being dispatched to the boundary of some pretty decent deliveries, but that's the name of the game. And Inamul Haq, calm and composed as always, a good sense of assuredness, tends to know his game, knows what his strengths are, and that's just what's needed at this level. Somebody very experienced campaigner, and let's see how he structures his chase. That's short and wide, cut and well fielded there by Point. That's funny how Ilyas's first 2 balls were really good, found its way to the boundary, while the ball that wasn't that flash didn't go for a boundary. So what's Ilyas going to do now? What's a good area to bowl to Inamul Haq? That's better for him. Just prodded to cover. Not much foot movement there from Inamul Haq. I don't think that will bother him too much. These Qatari batsmen can just look over to the scoreboard and feel that having 64 runs on the board at this point, it's just a very encouraging sign. And inside edge again, and this time stopped by the keeper. A true smile on his face. It's hard to get a sense of what Kuwait are sensing or feeling about this so far. They might feel a bit aggrieved that there have been a few lucky shots that found their way to boundaries, but having said that, they've not bowled the best as well, and Qatar have done really well to put away the deliveries that didn't find the mark. Trying to pull that, not a bottom edge, I'd say, and Ilyas is done. So not as free scoring as the last 4 overs. Takes Qatar to 64 for 2. Last over of power play coming up, and if you want to get into the heads of the Qatari batsmen, you'd feel that they will be talking about maybe trying to maximize this over, depending on who's coming on to bowl. It will be Hassan again. If they could get about 15 runs off this over, you would think that Qatar now would have turned the tables and in this chase, and with the batting they have in hand. bowled. Just punch into the point region. Well fielded. Back in. Kuwait need a lift. They need to understand that this over is really, really crucial. Need to keep things quiet. Then be allowed to use the field after the power play to try and stem the flow of runs. Again, a bit too straight, and that's 4 runs. Bit too straight, down leg. Very, very strong in that region, Tanveer, and has made him pay. So Tanveer, who's been really rather quiet, have only faced four balls, but he's already on 6 runs. Been given a bit of a gift by Mohammad Hassan. Discipline's key here, and Hassan's got to understand that this over of his is probably what's going to determine Qatar's chase. If they can keep this quiet and try and keep this under 80 at this point. Well bowled, much better. Bowling to the field, and that's what it's all about, just keeping it simple. As much as Qatar's lost 2 wickets, that's a very big score on the board in the 6th over, and saying that's taken out a big chunk of this chase. That's gone off to deep mid wicket just for the 1, and 69 for 2. 3 balls to go. Mohammad Hassan, 1.4 overs, 13 runs conceded. Short, and that's well played, but it finds the fine leg who's come around to field that pretty well. Again, Hassan, this with his tendency to want to bowl that shorter ball when he's better off just keeping it up to the bat where he has so far on a good length, and probably grateful that Inam didn't get hold of that. It's a slower ball, well bowled, really well bowled, and probably an area of the game that Inamul Haq no longer possesses in the quick single, the veteran for Qatar cricket. So very safe in saying that he would have turned down that single even before it was played. 6 overs, 70 for 2, 128 runs required. And you think Qatar are in the better position now, and very happy with how things have started. Jamal, what do you think?
But it's turning out to be an excellent game of cricket. Tanveer and the dangerous Inamul Haq still in for Qatar. Wonderful start given, fueled by some jet fuel by Faisal Javeed. 24 of 8 balls, 2 towering sixes, 3 boundaries. I think this partnership will hold the key for Qatar. Kuwait, on the other hand, will be looking to strike a few quick blows. Very close first up. Amanullah. The double O there, sending one wide. Flighted it. Namul unable to drill it. Direct hit, almost could have ricocheted easily off for a single, but none added to the total. One seems to be sliding down the leg side. Two umpires, Buddhi Pradhan, Viswanathan Kalidas, two very experienced men adjudicating this match. The match referee, Mr. Manu Nair. Namul Haq drills it down to long off for a single. It's going to be a good contest.
A full toss again. Full tosses have worked really well for Jandu Hamoud in his first over because both full tosses took a wicket. This time he's just been dispatched for a 4.
I think the law of averages caught up with him.
Yes.
You bowl left arm over the wicket meat pies, you will get hit sooner or later.
Yes, and Qatar will feel really, really good about themselves and having taken off such a big chunk of the chase in the power play. Although they've lost 2 wickets, but you do feel that at this point the pressure has been transferred on to Kuwait.
The end of 7 overs. Qatar 76 for the loss of 2. On track, you would say.
And more importantly, somebody like Inamul Haq in there in the middle just gives, he almost doesn't seem flustered. Just so calm and collected, very assured, knows his game. That's just years of experience and being a former first-class cricketer as well. And you can see he's so composed, and that sort of helps the demeanor of his partner out there as well. And he probably has standing instructions on what the partner has to do.
He's making use of all that experience. I'm sure he's been in this situation many a times. Been very impressed the way he's been bowling in the power plays and also with his batting, controlling the innings. The only one aspect which leaves a chink in the armour is the running between the wickets.
Yes. Well, having said that, he is getting on the years. Must have been a lot fitter in his day, I would suppose. But and that's what's so great about a player like Inamul Haq. He knows what his strengths are, and he utilizes them to about almost 120%, and that makes up for all the failings of other parts of his game. Looks like a new bowler in for Kuwait. And that will be Aslam coming in for his first over.
On the money straight away. Mohammad Aslam, number 17, left arm orthodox from the Serangoon Road end. Tell you what, the wicket's played beautifully.
Yes, it has. It's probably nullified a lot the left arm spinner's capabilities as well. Although having said that, I don't think Hamoud did himself any justice bowling full tosses. But with that newer ball on this wicket, you don't think the left arm spinner is going to get as much turn off the wicket or much grip. So it's better off just angling it in as much as you can, which he probably is doing there right now.
That's the whole poetic beauty about this game of cricket. Perhaps his worst 2 deliveries gave him the best 2 results.
Yes, it was, and it got rid of the very dangerous Faisal, who just launched into his innings and got Qatar off to the best of starts. You would think that if he was still there, he'd still be hitting them all over the park.
Tanveer and Inamul Haq content rotating the singles, ensuring that they consolidate and further build on this wonderful start the openers have given them. Yes, Faisal seemed to have had a few Red Bulls. He was on wings this morning.
Yes, he was ruthless.
Namul Haq trying to guide it down to short third man. Aslam bowling to a short third man, backward point, cover, sweeper cover, and a long off on the offside. Looks to guide that one down the leg side.
don't think he's going to get much joy with his LBW appeals, because I think his line is more very straight down and probably pitching on leg.
At the end of 8 overs, Qatar 78 for the loss of 2. The command center here. Beehive of activity, journalists, media personnel. The crowd slowly building up as we approach lunch. A beautiful Friday afternoon here in Singapore. It's been sunny and bright, and the cricket has been absolutely trailblazing.
Where do you think Qatar have to be at the 10 over mark to make this chase? As much as it feels that Qatar are in control, there is still a bit of scoreboard pressure.
I think they'll just look to continue, and these two batsmen, they'll look to be there deep into the innings, around the 15th over mark. And that would enable Qatar, I feel, to chase this total down, because there's no demons in the wicket. And Kuwait, on the other hand, to feel comfortable, they'll need to keep picking wickets at a regular interval.
Yes, I do feel at this point, you look at the field and you think that possibly half the Kuwaiti fielders out there feel that they're not in that bad a situation, but probably the other half that are feeling a bit nervous.
It's wide signal there by Kali. Once again, punted to deep back with square leg.
This is actually turning out to be a pretty decent over by the young Hamoud.
I love his selection of numbers. 0. Seems to be one. He's not too bothered with such things.
Probably hoping for the number of runs that he'll be conceding, 0, but
absolutely
not really the case.
Looks like Mead Bavzar there doing patrolling duties at deep back with square leg. Possesses a good arm, sends in a flat return.
Do you feel that if Tanvir kept his shape, he'd probably be hitting those balls a lot better? Strong guy, and that's a good shot, but with the field back,
drilled down to long off. Yes, I think you should back yourself to hit straight, given the dimensions of this field. Short, straight boundaries. These Qatari batsmen are absolutely power-packed.
It's well bowled. He's bowled a really good over.
That's a good bit of fielding off his own bowling. Bowlers hate conceding runs off their own bowling. I'm yet to meet a charitable bowler. Adnan Idris fielding at long on, played a beautiful hand, scored a half century. It's again forced off the back foot.
That's a no ball. It's overstepping, and that's after all the hard work of bowling a really good over. He's overstepped, no ball, and you don't want to be giving a free hit to these Qatari batsmen. So Kali asked the umpire, showing where he'd gone over the mark.
Hamoud Amanullah committing the crime, overstepping as a slow bowler. It's unacceptable.
Takes the shine off of what could have been a very good over. Just kept it to singles, and now he's got to concede a no ball and a free hit.
Field changes as the batsman crossed during that. Now Inamul Haq on strike for the free hit. He's launched it straight to long on, and they didn't bother taking a single.
Yeah, which I've got to say that was pretty ordinary. They should have at least taken a single, because every run's going to matter.
Yeah, I mean, Inamul Haq's an experienced cricketer, but I'm sorry to say his running between the wickets is just rubbish.
Yes, that's not the best. And
in a T20 international, every run matters, is gold dust, and you cannot be casual about your approach.
exactly, even if free hit doesn't find the boundary, at least you know that you can get a single somewhere. Everyone's on the defensive, trying to stop the runs, and if they were to lose by 1 run today, they should look back on that one moment.
If Qatar loses by 1 run today, Inamul Haq would be facing the firing squad.
Pretty sure he would be.
They will shoot him with blanks, so it wouldn't kill him, but it would hurt.
That was poor. I mean, not something that you want to see too much happen in T20 cricket, because this is a big score that they're trying to chase down. You can understand if it was just 120 like they did against Nepal, they became selective in their running.
Well, Kuwait and Qatar seem to have decided to have a little refueling session in between the match.
Don't think the umpires are too pleased about that. I don't think they were expecting this.
Well, it seemed to be a coordinated distribution of drinks.
Yes.
I think they're facing a different heat down here in Singapore. It's very humid. The boys from the Middle East, they're used to a much drier heat. Umpire Kalidas letting them know this is not on. Punted to long off for a single. Mohammad Aslam continuing to bowl a very good line and length here.
It just looks like both the left arm spinners have found their stride, because full tosses have disappeared, although they did work in taking wickets, but he's bowling a really good pace, spearing it into, and that might be a catch. Nope.
Just a single.
And he's bowled really well. I think he's kept both these very able batsmen quiet, spearing into the pads. Minimal turn, but left armer's angle always difficult to face up to.
Yes, Kuwait wouldn't mind the singles at this moment. That looked pretty close. Buddhi Pradhan, the best position to judge, says not out.
Probably pitching leg, and with the lack of turn, maybe even going down, continuing to go around leg.
Yes, Mohammad Aslam bowls from wide of the crease, creates a big angle. Seems to be going down the leg side more often than not. Good decision.
Smart bowling too, because that's